8 bizarre theories that prove time traveling exists. Hello, and welcome to Info Junkie TV, where you can be certain that you will always leave with an interesting piece of information that is guaranteed to feed your thirst for knowledge. Today's topic will take you back in time, literally. Ever been interested in taking a stroll through time? How many times have you heard of theories that attempt to prove that time travel does in fact exist? We're bringing you the top 8 most bizarre incidents and theories that have been used to showcase that time travel does indeed exist. I kinda wish there's as many theories that prove that teleportation exists, but you can't have everything, can ya? You guys want a tip? If anyone asks, you cannot say I told you this, but number 1 will have you off your chair. Let's start off with bizarre theory number 8, the Nicolas Cage theory. This man appears to be a time repellent. He doesn't age. And we're not saying that because of the actor's timeless looks, but we are saying it because there's been proof of exact replicas of the man that must have been him through time. An 1870s man from Tennessee, who was a Confederate prisoner of war, looks exactly like Nicolas Cage, does he not? You know who he also looks like? The 19th century Emperor of Mexico. The resemblance of Nicolas Cage to both of these men is quite uncanny. A time traveler and also an immortal? Maybe. We'll never know. The next theory we have today is the tiny watch. Back in 2008, Emperor Hongwu, who happens to be the founder of the Ming Dynasty, decided to come back to life and haunt us. No joke. Tombs from his time were opened as part of an archaeological expedition, and a tiny golden watch was found that, as you can see, looks pretty modern, doesn't it? Not just that, but it was frozen at 6 minutes past 10. 10 in the morning or 10 in the evening? We will never know. Do you have goosebumps yet? Maybe if we work hard enough, we'll get you to shed a tear. Just kidding. We don't want you crying. We don't have enough tissues for all of you. However, since we are true to all you infomaniacs, we need to point out another side of the story. So when pictures of this tiny golden watch spread, people claimed it to be a fraud. Whoever took these pictures did it for fame and fortune. Some claimed that the picture was photoshopped. Where the truth lies, we'll never know. Moving on to theory number 6, Les Fantômes de Trianon, or Les Fantômes de Versailles. Okay, let's stop you there and ask you a really important question. How's my French? Good? Great? No. Terrible. Okay, well, that was embarrassing. So going back to our French-based theory that is more commonly known as the Moberly-Jourdain incident involving Miss Charlotte Anne Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, also regularly described as the ghosts of Petit Trianon, and we'll get to why in a minute. On your toes yet? Okay, so the story goes like this. In 1911, our lovely French women published a book titled An Adventure. Short and mysterious, right? Here's why. These two ladies went and visited the Palace of Versailles and ran into Marie Antoinette. Yep, you heard that right. Marie Antoinette. The women claimed they felt like they took a wrong lane and traveled in time to the 18th century and met people who were dead. The gardens themselves they described were 18th century. Now, I don't really know how different gardens in the 18th century are from the ones in the 19th century or the ones we have now. Anyways, of course, bringing you to the other side of this quite weird story, people didn't believe the women, claimed they were lying for, you guessed it, fame. Our next theory, theory number 5, is the Scottish time slip. Air Marshal Sir Robert Victor Goddard was a senior commander during the Second World War. The man's obviously legendary to have been at this seniority level during a strategic war. So the story goes that he traveled in time in 1939 during a flying mission. As he flew over an airfield near Edinburgh, he witnessed a sudden change in the weather and suddenly saw cattle spread out and feeding on grass coming up from the cracks in the tarmac. Scared, he decided to fly back to where he had come from, and then suddenly the weather changed from heavy rain to bright sunlight. Interesting stuff, right? Well, the story doesn't end here though. As he flew back, he saw that the airfield had been completely renovated and had mechanics working on airplanes that he was unfamiliar with. Weird, right? But even weirder was that he could see it from the distance that he did. He must have had super powerful eyesight to see that far. Not to discredit or criticize the guy, but it's a pretty unbelievable story, isn't it? And now for theory number 4, the Philadelphia experiment. Did I not say in the beginning that I wished there was more theories about teleporting? Well, my prayers have been answered. Finally, one of the stories we're telling you loyal infomaniacs involves teleportation. In 1943, the US military conducted an experiment that involved a man named Carlos Miguel Allende. He claimed the military rendered the Navy's Cannon-class destroyer escort, the USS Eldridge, invisible. They teleported it to New York, and then by accident, or maybe on purpose, teleported it to a whole other dimension where it encountered aliens. Scared yet? It then teleported through time as well, and several sailors are not with us today due to losing them in another time. Okay, not the story I was looking for when I said teleporting. Of course, most people are skeptical about the story, including Morris K. Jessup, the UFO researcher who Mr. Allende reached out to at the time. Which brings us to theory number 3, the Montauk Project. This project is basically an extension of our previous theory, the Philadelphia experiment. It's about an experiment conducted by the US military to experiment with the concept of manifestation, remote viewing, and you guessed it, time travel. The book titled The Montauk Project: Experiments in Time discusses in first person how they attempted to alter history, written by Preston B. Nichols and Peter Moon. Nichols claims that he went back in time and met himself and apparently ate cheese, and a lot of it. How that's relevant to the past, present, or the future, I'm not quite sure. To be fair to the man, though, he also claimed he saw the government conducting experiments of attempting to control the minds of people, which turned out to be true later on. And that's a whole other episode. Is this man telling the truth? Well, we'll never know. And how scary is the idea that the US military attempted to alter history? I mean, have these people not seen or read any time travel books or movies? Like in Harry Potter and the Wizard of Azkaban. When Hermione and Harry used the time turner, they had to go back in time repeatedly, and when they didn't get things right, they had to do it again, and again, and again. I know, the book and the movies weren't published then, but still. Anyone in their right mind would know it's not okay to mess with time, creating alternate endings and changing the entire course of history? Apparently, these people don't scare away easily, because they attempted to make these changes by making visits to Jesus Christ himself. They also attempted to change the outcomes of the Civil War and battles in the Second World War. These people have no heart. Of course, this is being said on the basis that we believe any of this is true, and are not thinking it's just another sci-fi story. Okay, enough with experiments conducted by the US military, and let's move on to theory number 2, the Large Hadron Collider. Heard of it? Well, even if you have, let me introduce it to you again. So basically, the Large Hadron Collider is a particle accelerator, but not just an average particle accelerator. It is the world's largest and most powerful one to date. People have also questioned if it could possibly be a time machine. Why, might you ask? Because it can allow us to take a closer look at the conditions of the universe in its very, very, very early stages. Ready for this next bit? Physicists' response to this claim has been that they do not have a definite answer to if the Large Hadron Collider is in fact a time machine or not, because they believe it initially failed to operate due to influences from the future and nature effectively sabotaging efforts to get it up and running, ruining the initial efforts to run the 27-kilometer-long thing. This brings us to the grandfather paradox explanation, which basically says that if you are in fact able to go back in time and kill your grandfather, then you would not have been born. Ceasing to exist, basically. Because if the grandfather died, then the father would not have been born, nor would you. This could explain why this machine doesn't work as a time machine, but it'll always leave our minds to wonder if it is in fact a possibility. I know I said enough about experiments conducted by the US military, but some people think that the Large Hadron Collider is a continuation of the Montauk Project. Only now, experiments are conducted right out in the open. And now, theory number 1, the iPhone footage. People have been looking throughout history and exploring it for evidence of technological advances from the future in the past. Weirdly enough, it has been found in a DVD of Charlie Chaplin's The Circus. In one of the behind-the-scenes footage, a woman was seen walking holding a mobile phone and appears to be speaking. Scared yet? Because we definitely are. This could not have been creepier. After doing some more research, we found claims that it couldn't have been a mobile phone and was most likely a hearing aid. Makes a little more sense, right? It's time to do a quick recap. Nicolas Cage is either a vampire or a time traveler. His picture seems to resurface throughout history. Emperor Hongwu, the founder of the Ming Dynasty, may have had a watch from the future, or someone used Photoshop to become famous. Two French ladies met with Marie Antoinette in an 18th century garden, and a decorated pilot went through a time warp when attempting to land a plane. The US military has tried to reshape history with continued experiments that may even continue to this day, only now it's out in the open with the Large Hadron Collider. And last but not least, one of the most famous pieces of footage of a lady on a cell phone from a Charlie Chaplin movie is likely just an old style of hearing aid. Let me wrap this up by saying none of the theories above showcase 100% that time travel exists, but they don't disprove the idea either. Time travel still remains a mystery to all of us. I hope that we have left you infomaniacs with enough new information on time travel so you can let your imaginations run wild. Which of these theories about time travel do you think is most bizarre? Tell us what you think in the comments, and don't forget to click on the button to subscribe. Until next time, Infomaniacs, when we come back with more interesting topics just for you.